Hello, hello. Welcome all to tonight's or today's, depending on where you're viewing, Future Ready Pathways at Elementary School. This is one part of a series that we're doing on Future Ready Pathways throughout ISKL. My name is Charlotte Diller. I'm the Director of Technology here at ISKL. And before we actually start the program, we will go over a little bit of housekeeping. Please do stay muted throughout the presentation. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. At the very end of the presentations, we will have Q&A. So we'll gather your questions and respond to them then. If you would like to rename yourself in Zoom, and why would you do that? Well, it's nice to know what we can address you as. You can click on your video, click the three dots, which usually is up in the right, and click rename, and you can rename yourself as to what you would like to be called. Please do know that this session will be recorded and it will be published on our ISKL website and our YouTube channel. So with that, and as people are still kind of coming in to tonight's session, we'll go on and actually start the session. So again, tonight's session is Future Ready Pathways at Elementary School. And what about ISKL? ISKL was established in 1965, and the International School of Kuala Lumpur, or ISKL as we call it, has become known as a center of excellence in the world of international education. As a forward-thinking and future-ready school, we are committed to sharing learning and stimulating discussion about important topics in education, both for ISKL and the wider community. This is the last of a three-series event about how ISKL prepares students to be future ready. It might be the last event, but it is all about the start of future readiness at elementary school. The learning and development that takes place in elementary school really lays the foundation for developing young learners' attitudes, skills, knowledge, and understanding. The entire elementary school, or ES team, is very intentional about how we teach our students to understand knowledge, not just absorb it, and to offer relevant and varied learning opportunities to our youngest learners so they can start their educational journey, their life journey, equipped with ISKL elementary school elements for future readiness. And tonight, you are in for a real treat as we share what future readiness means at the elementary school, and you'll be able to interact with our future ready learners. And it's my pleasure to also introduce our speakers for the evening. You'll be introduced a little bit more in detail later on in the presentation, but just as a quick overview, Rami Madani, our head of school, will share the ISKL vision of what differentiates future ready students. The amazing elementary school team, led by Julie Olson, principal, and Azra Pathan, assistant principal, will share the key elements for future readiness at the elementary school. And really, who better to share what it means to be future ready than the students themselves? As I said, you're in for a real treat tonight as we will be joined, or are joined, by 6 of our grade 5 leadership team, or Red Hats. Ginevra, Rema, Amelie, Jacob, Nathaniel, and Basho. And as I'm sort of saying your names, you might give a wave. You can see who they are because they should have red hats in the name. And they cannot wait to tell you about their learning experiences. And so now, without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Rami Madani to start us off.
Thank you, Charlotte, and hello, families. Thank you for joining us now. And regardless where you are, you're welcome to hear a little bit about our story. And the best to tell it is our students. Until then, here is something about ISKL at a glance. As Charlotte said, this school is established in 1965. We have more than 1,700 students, more than 65 nationalities. Most of our teachers, in fact, 93% of them have 9 or more years of experience. 72% have master's or PhD. And most IB teachers are, in fact, IB examiners. ISKL has been offering the IB diploma program since 1989, and this is the oldest IB program in Malaysia. We have 1,500 graduates, and our average is much higher than the world average consistently. Last year, our graduating class received equivalent to 3.5 million USD in university scholarship. Our campus is state of the art. And let's tell you not only about the campus, but about the accreditation, the awards, and the accolades that we have. ISKL is accredited by two of the top agencies globally to provide excellence in education. In addition to that, accredited by the IB, we have also affiliations, very strong ones that are aligned with our core values related to sustainability, related to green schools, and we have received awards about the campus, awards about the inclusive program, and most recently for the school that demonstrated well-being, the best well-being award in international school. We just received it. So here we are. This is a little bit about ISKL. And let's transition now to tell you about our vision. As we prepare our students for the future, regardless how old they are, we believe we help them transform conditions for self, others, and the environment. So to be healthy, to be well, it's not only about the self, but about supporting others and the world around us. So this is our purpose. What do we develop with our students? We develop passion and competencies in areas that make the world a better place. Later on, you will hear from our students examples that demonstrate their passion, whether it's about innovative thinking, about agency, in areas that make a difference to the world around them. And that's what we do. How do we do it? Well, we develop programs and pedagogy to support that. So our learning pedagogies are personal, authentic, driven by the learner, not lecturing the whole time. And they are embedding technology so that our students are future ready. And the program that we offer are inclusive and they are innovative. They focus on establishing strong partnerships. It could be within the school or globally. And they are grounded into sustainable development goals. To achieve that ambitious vision, we deeply believe in the importance of creating a culture that embeds three key components. Number one is empathy and care. We are in the business of people. We believe empathy and care is essential to succeed. We also believe in collective efficacy. So how do we develop the shared understanding and the shared responsibility for success? And then we do have high expectations of ourselves and each other. Those three elements are essential not only for our students, but also for our adults. And we hope that is the same story that you will hear from our parents. Putting that vision together, this is what you see. That circle is our culture that surrounds everything. The two green pathways, these are the learning and the programs that we offer at ISKL to help us achieve that ambitious vision. Some of the examples of the learning programs that we offer at ISKL include STEM, include forward-thinking, authentic learning in humanities, social-emotional learning, intercultural understanding, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Recently, we asked our parents a question about, what do you value most in your child's education? So what programs should we offer to reach what you value? So parents responded what they value is confidence, independence, well-being, real-world learning, happiness. And you see, these are essential components for learning at ISKL, and those are deeply embedded in the strategic planning process that we are currently following. The next question to us is the learning design. So the pedagogy is important. You will hear later from our young learner how confident they are and how articulate they are. And that comes from programs that are designed for them, that develop agency and self-directedness, that are differentiated, culturally responsive, and programs that are based on inquiry and collaborative. Similarly, we asked our parents, what do you think about what programs you value. And these are some of the highlights that our parents have indicated. We're very proud to say that we as a school, parents, faculty, staff, and students are traveling on the journey together, united towards a very ambitious vision. And we tell that story. We tell that story through sessions, as you see here as an example. We do regular sessions with our parents to go along the journey of future readiness so that we are collectively ready and we shared the responsibility for the success of our students. With that, I will stop and pass it on to our wonderful elementary school principal, Miss Julie Olson.
Thank you, Rami. Good evening, everyone. I'm Julie Olson, proud principal of the elementary school for the last 5 years. We're so pleased to have you join us this evening. You know, as we think about preparing future-ready students at the elementary school level, together, some special guests and colleagues of mine are going to share 6 key elements that are really cornerstones of future readiness. And these elements are transdisciplinary. They can be seen through our programs that Rami mentioned, through our pedagogy and our learning design, and they permeate through our curriculum, through our instruction, and even down to the interactions we have with one another. So together with 6 of our grade 5 red hats, the ES advisory team will tell you more about each of the 6 elements. Azra?
Good evening. Thanks for joining us today. We are so happy that you can be here. I have been part of the ISKL journey for the last 12 years, and it's such a privilege to be part of such a highly competent team of colleagues who help us drive future-ready learning. The ES teaching and learning team, the EduTech team, and the counseling team form a partnership here at ES that develop future-ready learning practices. As the ES advisory team, we support innovative practices and school-wide initiatives at ES. We'd like to introduce you to our team today. Let's start with teaching and learning. Paige?
Hi, thank you, Azra. Yes, my name is Paige Emmerich, and I'm the elementary school teaching and learning coordinator. So glad you could join us tonight.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Joel Yaban, and I work as an instructional coach and learning specialist for the elementary school. Thank you.
I am Steve Katz, and I'm one of the elementary school technology coordinators. This is my 6th year at ISKL.
Hi, my name is Max Wright. I'm one of the other elementary school tech coordinators, and I've been here for 14 years. You can tell I love it here.
And my name is Chris Wright. Good evening and welcome. I am one of the 3 elementary counselors at ISKL, and I myself has also been at ISKL for 14 years.
So the 6 key elements that we're going to focus on tonight are discovery, innovation, agency, inclusion, empathy, and action. The students will introduce themselves now.
Hi, my name is Ginevra. I've been at ISKL for 5 years. I am from Italy. The element that I will share this evening is empathy.
Hello, my name is Raima, and the key element that I'm going to be representing today is action. One thing I really like about ISKL is that students have many opportunities to share their opinions and improve our community. To me, being future ready means being prepared for the future and putting effort into things you do. One example of being future ready is taking action to improve our community, just like how elementary school students are taking action.
Future ready for me is being prepared for the things I have to do while being calm and knowing what to do. I'll be sharing with you about discovery.
Hello, my name is Jacob. I've been at ISKL for 1.5 years. One of the 6 key elements of ISKL is innovation, and I will also explain about innovation in my breakout room. And I think future ready is being prepared for what will come up at our future.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel, and I have been at ISKL for 1.5 years. I hold a passport from Singapore, and one of the key elements for ISKL Future Ready Learning is to take ownership of our own learning. And I think that future ready means to be prepared for the future. I will be sharing about agency.
Hi, my name is Besho. I've been at ISKL for 1 year. I hold a passport from Libya. One of the six key elements of ISKL's elementary is inclusion. To me, future ready means to be prepared for anything. We will now take a closer look at each of the key elements, beginning with discovery.
The first element we're looking at is discovery. It looks so different across ES. When learning is made known at ES, it looks amazing. It's play-based, it's imaginative, it's creative. And guess what? It can really be messy sometimes. To the untrained eye, it might look like chaos, but there is learning happening, really experiential learning. Each student is challenged, their curiosity is sparked, and they are excited and spirited to learn about the world around them. In this play, students construct meaning. They do it together in a social environment. Co-constructing meaning allows our students to apply their learning and visit each concept through the lens of inquiry, asking lots of questions. They're not satisfied with the answers. They're digging deep into perspectives, and they keep asking how and why and how does that happen? Emily?
Discovery is messy, it's imaginative, and it's about playing and being creative. Sometimes you get challenges when you can collaborate with friends. Discovering helps you learn, and every day, every minute, every second, we can discover things. Discovery is important in order for you to learn new things. Here's a video I made.
Innovation. Innovation is a vital component of progress across all industries, and education is no different. Innovation in education is especially significant considering the young minds molded by the educational system today, as these will be leading the charge for innovation tomorrow. If the rapidly changing needs of the current workforce are any indication of what's to come for future generations, this investment will be necessary in order to continue making progress at the speed and quality that we are today. Innovation is a broad and valued term here at ISKL, as it is embedded in our vision, as Mr. Madani and Ms. Olson talked about earlier. It can mean new and different ways of teaching and learning, as well as meaningful and transformative ways of using technology for education. And although we can't test students on their innovation, we can encourage them to explore new concepts, look at challenges from all sides, and embrace failures as opportunities to try again with more knowledge. Here are some photos of technology being used in a variety of innovative ways, from coding drones and robots to recording life in our eco garden.
Innovation goes beyond technology and beyond traditional learning spaces. At ISKL, students participate in a variety of student-driven, authentic activities that align with content area standards and utilize the design thinking process to develop solutions for real-world problems, both at school and in their community. Here you can see some of our students working in a little bit less traditional learning environments. And I have a short video here for you to get an even better taste of what we do.
One way of thinking of learner agency is when learners have the power to act. Agency is when learning involves the learning engagement and the initiative of the learner. Agentic learning is defined by self-directed actions aimed at personal growth and development based on self-chosen goals. Within this context, students initiate actions that drive their own learning. On the screen are examples of ISKL students demonstrating agency. You will see our youngest learners at play to learn, self-directing their own designs, and taking ownership of their own learning. As well, upper grades designing and creating innovative solutions to problems, which is an evidence of agency.
The element of inclusion speaks to the heart of what our school values. We value belonging. We hold a deep belief that children learn when they feel included. We hold a deep belief that all individuals deserve access to a rich school experience. At ISKL, we believe that inclusion is a universal right. The notion that all individuals belong and have access to learning, to resources, to engagement, to connections with one another. The aim of inclusion is to provide access to all, irrespective of race, gender, ability, or need. We want students to recognize that each human has a unique identity, and the world is richer because of the diversity that's collectively offered. Students learn to see perspective, and they learn to include all. Through their collaborative experiences with all kinds of people, all kinds of learners, students learn that equity doesn't always mean equal, and they learn to value differences. Besho.
Thank you, Ms. Julie. So, inclusion involves three main aspects: belonging, access, and diversity. Here are a few examples of inclusion in action at ISKL.
Take your steps. Step, step down the wall. One step, 1 foot at a time. Go ahead, 1 foot. One other foot. Good. Walking. Good job walking down the wall.
Nice work. Good job.
Nice job.
Nice.
Hello, the next element that we're going to be presenting tonight is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. At ISKL, we believe that empathy is at the core of our future-ready students. Empathy is more than just about being kind and about the ability to just be a good friend. It's about the ability to understand and share the emotions and experiences of another. At ISKL, we focus on helping students to develop self-regulation skills, self-awareness skills, so that they can become future ready and realize how their actions impact others around and how they can help others around them. Empathy helps build openness necessary for collaboration with others from diverse backgrounds and experiences. It also allows for our students to be more effective, future ready, compassionate leaders. And that part, we're very excited to build compassionate leaders. So we have a few examples here of how our kids can show empathy, how we use a short video as well, just to show you some ways that children learn to self-regulate and talk about their thoughts and their feelings and how it impacts others. Let's share the video now.
Hold your belly now, and
so right now I'm in the kitchen, and with the A I found an apple, with the B I found a biscuit, with the C I found well, right outside my window I saw a car. And
Also, to think positive, you can also have empathy for other people and think positive and think about it, about what happens. Be motivated to learn, and it also helps you be stronger and happy and healthy. I also wanted to talk to you about that it doesn't always just help you. It can help others by staying motivated, learning. And when you learn, it helps other people learn. And when you're happy, it makes other people happy. And when you're strong, it makes other people strong and makes them feel confident.
Action is the last key element that we're going to talk about tonight. ISKL's school-wide learning results, our ESLERs, include live ethically. We believe that living ethically is the pathway that enables students to become global citizens. Global citizenship is reflected in students' ability to develop and synthesize attitudes, skills, knowledge, and understanding that empower them to be contributing and active members of this interconnected world. One of the ways our students are empowered is through the key element of action, which can take many forms. It may be taking care of a grade level garden, collecting glasses for those in need, petitioning restaurants to stop the use of plastic straws, or even, as you will see in this video, gathering donations for a local refugee community.
The Red Hats are here today helping with charity. What do you say, Sarah?
We are helping the Chin refugee and they're fun.
Nice. Ira?
We're helping with the Chin refugee and them being able to buy stuff.
Nice. Reem?
We're helping them to be able to get more food and help them to make sure they have enough school supplies for school.
Yay! 1, 2, go!
Go Red Hats! Go Chin!
Wow, you just had an overview of the key elements of future readiness at the elementary school. Discovery, innovation, agency, inclusion, empathy, and action. Now, get ready to be transported into breakout rooms for a deep dive into these key elements with our special guests and co-facilitators. You'll be randomly assigned to breakout rooms to hear from and interact with our students and the co-facilitator on one of these topics. You might be thinking, but wait, I want to deep dive into all of these topics. You can. You will get to review all the sessions as we will be recording each breakout room session and posting the recordings on our website. If you do have any questions, you can go ahead and place them in the chat. Anything related to the key elements or future readiness at elementary school, or really just questions in general. While you're thinking, I'd like to take the opportunity to say thank you to the breakout room facilitators, and especially to our student breakout room facilitators, Emily, Jacob, Nathaniel, Besho, Ginevra, and Rima. Thank you very much. And so with that, we'll transition into questions. At this point, I think I just have one general question that I might toss out. And if anyone else has any questions for any of the facilitators or even for Rami Madani, that would be fine. You can go ahead and place them in the chat. And thank you, Pacey, for the positive feedback as well, that they did an awesome job. So the one question that I have that perhaps Julie Olson or Azra Pathan could take. Can you tell us just a little bit about what the teacher-student ratio is in the classroom? Daisy's son will be entering grade 4.
Sure. We have class size targets, and in grade 4, it's 22. So grades 3, 4, and 5 will be 22. Grades 1 and 2 are 20, 18 in prep senior, 16 in prep junior, and 14 in prep reception. We do have a teacher assistant also in the young grades, early childhood in grade 1. There also are EAL specialists and LR specialists at every grade level. So there's one classroom teacher and 22 students target in each fourth grade classroom, but there are other adults that work with the students as well.
Okay, thank you. And at this point, though, I think that probably so many questions were already addressed in the breakout rooms that probably you are all questioned out. So, we do have another question, and this is a general question. And so I'm going to just toss it out for everyone, and whoever wants to jump in. So with the current situation in the midst of our pandemic, how do you think that's going to affect the values and how they continue in the future?
I'm
happy. Go for it. Please go.
Thank you. That's a great question. And one of the things we learned through our shift to a concurrent model in our online models is that what we do well gets amplified on screen, that our students are learning lots of different skills that they wouldn't have just learned within the classroom setting. And so we find that students during this process have learned more self-regulation, more independence. They're able to manage their time a little bit better, and they are becoming more and more adaptable to the technology skills that they have to learn, as well as more readiness skills that they need to access something that's unfamiliar to them. How might these values continue in the future? We hope to actually run with it. We really want to take what we've learned and in this process and use it for forward learning, so we make sure we harness it for the classroom learning that we hope to continue. Rami?
Thanks, Aja. And actually, I think Raima has some feedback as well. Raima, did you have something to say?
Yeah. So you know how you're saying how it like affects us during online learning and how like the values change? We actually did the Kiva loans, which is basically where you choose to loan a certain amount of money to someone and you have to explain why they need it. We actually did that online, so it doesn't really affect action that much because you can still do it online. It's just not as engaging, I guess.
Thank you. And any other thoughts to add? Rami, I think I might have.
Amelia and Azra focused skillfully on student learning, and from our perspective on adult learning, also teachers have improved the way integrating technologies for technology in the way we teach as a result of the pandemic. How do we automate some types of assessment? How do we make information and resources accessible? And how do we teach more efficiently when we have to?
One thing I'd like to add, Charlotte, it was something that Besho actually came up with in one of our discussions about inclusion. One example he gave was, he said, and Besho, you can jump in here, when you talked about the learners who were at home and what Mr. Roberts did.
Oh yeah. So like the learners at home, okay. Some people in my class, they're in different countries. And Mr. Roberts, he he works at a time with them that they're okay. Like if they're in a different time zone, it should be like 2 or 1. But if they're at the same time zone, it's like 8 a.m. He works out a time, and then they join us on Zoom. And he gives someone an iPad, the iPad like a camera. And when they go to the library, that person holds the iPad, and it's like that the virtual person's at school walking around.
Thanks, Basho. And Emily, it looks like you have something else to add.
For me, I think that the pandemic and the lockdown was not like such a bad thing, because for me again, and I think it didn't really stop us for like preparing for the future. The pandemic is just like stay at home and using computer. You're still learning, and it can't stop you by your curiosity, and you can even collaborate with your friends online. And I think online can actually help you a little because you have your equipment or your computer laptop around you, and you can just search or ask your mom and dad. And that actually can make you have more time spending with your mom and dad. And for the question, I think that these values can actually continue in the future. So I wouldn't stop us from like continue learning, and that's just fine.
Thank you, Emily. And Ginevra, it looks like you have something to add as well.
Well, my subject was empathy. And so empathy on virtual learning, like while we're doing virtual learning, was different than in real life. Like there were many ways that we could communicate with classmates and collaborate, but some empathy like recess, that's a way that you can be empathetic, and that's a time where you can be empathetic, and that we didn't have that when we were doing virtual learning.
Yeah, that would be tough when you're not face to face, right? Yeah. But it sounds like for each of you, you still were able to continue and focus on these key elements, and that the values and learning still continued. It was just different. And it also sounds like you all were really aware of what was different, and you're probably very pleased to be back on campus and face to face. Thank you. I think we're about ready to. I think that will be the last question. And Catherine has put in the chat. If you have any additional questions, you can certainly reach out to admissions@iskl.edu.my. And I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's session. We thank you so much for joining. And I do believe that Mr. Madani has some final closing words and thoughts for us.
Thank you, Charlotte. And to our parents who are with us this now, regardless of the time zone, we know that the most important thing for you is your children. And we know that their schooling is so essential for their future success. We know that you want them to be happy, well, healthy, engaged in learning, and to be ready for their future. I hope that this evening gave you an insight into a window into how learning is through the lens of our students. You've heard many of our students talking about, and they are actually our best ambassadors, talking about discovery, innovation, agency, inclusion, empathy, and action. And we can never speak as articulately, as clearly, as compassionately as our students, because they honestly do not filter. They say it as it is. And that's the best way to know how effective is our learning. Earlier in a breakout session, we asked Shahid, what are you most proud of? And he answered, being myself and being happy and proud of who I am and growing. And I love the fact that earlier when the question was asked, how was it? I don't remember. Maybe Emily went back to the question to look at it clearly and carefully. This is about value, how the values continue. These are our students, they pay attention. And all of our students make us so proud. They are the result of the culture we cultivate at ISKL. We hope you join it. We hope if you are with us, you feel proud. We hope if you are considering it, we hope that one day you will also join our wonderful, strong community. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. Thank you to our wonderful Red Hat students for joining us, and to the educational experts we have here, and wish everyone a wonderful time. Maybe we do the usual thing now, Charlotte, where we unmute and say goodbye.
Yes, we have started, we have a little bit of a tradition that everybody unmutes, turn on your camera if you like, and everyone says bye-bye, so we can hear your voices.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.